Show me your Quidditch.
All right, so can you angle this?
Yeah, you're good.
There's
Oh,
no
oh, sorry,
OBS
up a little bit.
stuff, though. There's no...
Nope, I'm gonna add it right now.
Okay, no worries.
Is that good?
That's good.
Okay, and then just side to side, yeah?
Yes.
Damn. Never kick it, man. Never kick it. I can't determine what's worse, brooms up or an NFL kickoff.
Probably brooms up.
I don't really often see that many people get injured. I mean, there's no pads involved. I don't see that many people get injured during brooms
No,
up.
brooms up is totally worse.
Do you think you haven't seen a lot of people get injured at Brooms Up?
Yeah.
Really?
We don't even run brooms up at our practice because it's too high risk.
Same.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh,
either, but I
no,
I think everyone's
never.
a pussy.
You have them run individually.
Sean,
the
live
Shut.
is
We're
right
live streaming.
there.
Hey, Dallas,
Hey.
password to your work computer to Mike.
We don't know it. That's why we gave it back.
Well, we know you're staying there. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't even
Player,
just like
player,
the-
player interview. Yep.
All right, shh. Everyone who's talking, get out of this area. You come up here and commentate.
Nice save from Duran Allison.
No, not doing this.
Is that not Duran?
No.
Oh shit, who was it?
Not that guy with a beard.
Oh,
So,
Kyle.
how are you?
Never mind.
LA Guardians in their first matchup of the day, as they were the first seed, the division champions out of the West. So they didn't play a first round matchup. They actually got a chance to watch all of their competition for vast majority of today. And this is their first matchup. The Washington Admirals, out of all the teams that played in the first round, spent the most time playing because they had to play all 3 games in their possible 3-game
awful, and I
series.
can't figure out
As
if it's...
Guardians are on the attack, and a strong finish at the hoops from Duran Allison, spinning out of a tackle and away from a beat, finishing on the mid-size hoop, which at his height is about his chest.
Oh god, wait. I think I just knocked off the video for a
The
second.
Admirals coming up the pitch here, led by their keeper, number 33, Benjamin Mertens. He's rotating to the left-hand side. Possible screen being thrown by one of his chasers. He will get a successful one. We'll see if he can actually make something of it. And it might be a double beat. No, they're going to call it clean on. Oh, it is a double beat. And now the Guardians running wild. And just like that, it's 20-zip. Martins,
Justin Fernandez scored.
Fernandez with the goal there.
Him and Justin Bogart were trading off being the top scorer for the Guardians before Duran Allison just surpassed them both at their last series. So it doesn't matter who the best Justin is because the best Guardian is Duran.
As the LA Guardians, with their rocking their all-white uniforms, are going to stay nice and clean for at least a little while in this matchup. Don't know if they're going to be able to wash their uniforms when they get back to the hotel tonight.
Sorry.
And I'm sure they're hoping that they'll be playing in day two of this tournament. That means they'll be a part of the Final Four by the time this one goes down. And to our left-hand side, if you hear some extra cheering, it's on pitch 1, the Indianapolis Intensity taking on the League City Legends, who played in round number 1, beat the New York Titans after 2 games, and a nice spoon move, and it looks like it might be. No, that was a clean tackle there, and a no-look pass to Duran. They're going to call that one no whistle blown. It is then confirmed to be good. The LA Guardians getting away in this one early after all that rest they had. Some of them actually took flights this morning, the day of the tournament, got here at about 6:30 a.m.
Like Dr. Professor Justin Bogart, the longest playing male Quidditch player in Quidditch.
Well, there you go.
He was on the original Middlebury team, no big deal.
Is he not the longest Quidditch player?
He wasn't always on an official team because he was in grad school, so
And
depends
the
on how you count.
Washington Admirals claim their first
I
goal
think
of
so.
the day.
Is there a female?
It's
Sarah
30-10
Nealing.
in favor
Sarah
of the LA Guardians. Duran bringing it up, rotating to the right-hand side. The Guardians beaters
Duran
working
brings
over.
it
He'll
in
cross
again.
over the front, behind the back, no-look pass to one of his chasers, and a strong finish at the hoops. Nobody having to run back on
Play his style.
coverage and touch the hoops here, but we do have a whistle blown. As our score currently sits at 40-10, the Guardians up versus the Washington Admirals, and Washington quite a ways away from home as they've come all the way down here to League City, Texas for a chance at the Beneby Cup for the year 2017.
Some people have special permission. I don't know.
Since
if he
we're
does,
talking
but-
about former Middlebury players going way back Nice beat up top.
That was Amanda Turtle. She was on Team USA.
Well, that explains the ferocity on that beat. There's no doubt about that. Wonder if she's going to try her hand at being a part of the 2018 Redeem team for the U.S. Quidditch team as they head to the IQA World Cup. As soon as they announce where it is, I'm sure they'll book tickets and stuff. But as of now, we just know it's going to happen somewhere on the map. My vote is, of course, for Hawaii, but nobody ever listens to me.
I feel like it'd be humid there too, though.
Yeah.
There's actually, believe it or not, a USQ team. Well, not a USQ team, but a team in Hawaii.
There are two. There used to be the night marches,
Yeah.
and now it's the Aloha Moras.
I like that. Aloha.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
Like-
Aloha.
Aloha Mora. I know. That's a clever name.
And it looks like we might have an Admirals penalty coming up here.
I heard someone make a good argument for why IQA World Cup will never be outside of Europe, or at least not anytime soon.
Because there's more teams in Europe than anywhere else.
Well, yeah, travel costs, and like, some teams would just decide not to go.
And we talk about the expansion of the game of Quidditch. Brazil just had their first ever regional last
Excellent.
month. Had 6 teams involved with it, but it's a start. Brazilian champions. I'm sure they had a really nice cup. Really nice trophy. That's the most important part about Quidditch. That's why we all play, for the shiny trophies. As the Admirals,
Okay, does anyone know anyone in the score booth over there? Because we need to text them and find out the game time.
it's
If not, we
40
need
to
someone
10
to run
the
over
score
there and get the
here.
game time and
As
text
we're
it to me.
working on the game time to update you, I can tell you this: it is not time for the snitch to be released. That's one clue. It's under 20 minutes because that's the mark that the snitch is released. No seekers have reported. And will this? Oh, now we have a a quaffle situation. Can't tell if it's the expansion of the air in the quaffle, thus overinflating. Yes, that does happen in Quidditch.
458.
Overinflating
What?
of the ball.
458.
Or if they're adding more air to it.
They took air out.
Or took air out. Okay, overinflation is the call.
That's 4:58 during a
Like it
stoppage.
was.
Sweet. 58 set time.
It actually happens quite often here if you play in Texas. If you have your ball bag, you kind of leave it in your car for a little while.
Whatever, 2 seconds.
All of the balls will overinflate because of the expansion of the air and the movement of the
Okay,
rubber
so
and
we do
plastic.
know-
So
Who's doing
score
all the-
sitting at 40 to 10 here. The LA Guardians putting in some work, bringing the quaffle up the pitch. One of their chasers because of a penalty on their keeper.
Game time needs to start.
Remind me here again, real quick, which button is which?
For the LA Guardians bringing the quaffle up, it's going to be Ryan Harris. Any relation to Sam Harris?
No.
Okay. Just
Ryan
this
Harris, the only relation is that they both went to the University of California. Ryan Harris is at UCLA, and Sam Harris graduated from Cal.
one. UCLA, the
Behind.
team that I can
Oh, there should be a
solely
stop
dedicate
timer.
to the reason that I play Quidditch, Mudbloods. Netflix documentary.
Love that movie. All right, and we have a stoppage.
And there is going to be a stoppage of play, and it probably was for a kick on the hand. And it was pretty routine, pretty quick on that one. They're going to call the
I'm
penalty
gonna tilt this down 'cause I
on
can't
Burgess,
see.
assistant coach for the Washington Admirals, and heading and the actual victim of that kick is going to be Ursula Sorrell, who trying to avoid his hand being kicked.
This is
Luckily, he
also
didn't
not
take a
charging.
full contact of it, but he did take some contact. He was wincing there just after it was over. A nice score attempt
Ryan
coming from the
to-
Guardians, and a throw from behind the hoops is no good.
Yeah.
And now Duran with a shot on the small hoop, flicks his wrist, and just like that, magically more points on the board.
Magic.
50 to 10, our current score here. The LA Guardians
50. Oh,
coming out of the West have not lost a game this season. Finished their first ever undefeated season.
do you know?
First ever undefeated season for the LA Guardians. Their second consecutive West Championship. And a dive at a loose quaff on the far left-hand side. And the assistant coach for the Washington Admirals, Burgess, is going to make a pass behind the hoops. She'll get beat. And now the Guardians have possession. And let's see where control lies. It will lie with the Washington Admirals. Lucky for them, if there's any benefit that comes out of a bad offensive set, gaining bludger control against a drive-heavy LA Guardians team that has some good team chemistry because
Yeah,
of a
Cito.
large portion of the Lost Boys being a part of the
No,
roster.
I think that's Princeton, isn't it? No, that's Max Portillo. He's so small, I always forget.
And the throw behind the hoops, it's going to be just a little bit errant, but the LA Guardians using some crafty know-how, tossing the quaffle back to reset their offense. A beater will step out of the field of play, step back into it, and we'll see what this call is. It's pretty quick. The card's already out. It's a blue card.
Oh, shoot. Ooh, we don't have game time right now.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to start it.
As the game time begins to tick
Can we
away.
get the game time, please?
And as we have this stoppage of play, there have been 4 teams eliminated from the MLQ
What?
Championship.
Thank you.
7-14 our current game time, and we were saying 4 teams been eliminated so far from the MLQ Championship. The Salt Lake City Hive,
I want this.
the New Orleans
It won't
Curse,
let me.
the New York Titans, and one more team as soon as I remember.
Indianapolis?
Indianapolis Intensity are currently
It's
playing.
not letting me.
Division champions.
It's not letting me do it. I'll ask her. All right, we're having some technical
And the
difficulties with the
Detroit
timer.
Innovators, the final team to be eliminated.
It is
Detroit
stopped.
Innovators eliminated from this game.
That's right,
A
correct.
drive coming from the Admirals and a throw between
Oh, wait,
the
until
big
next
and
stoppage.
mid hoop goes errant, and now the quaffle is loose. A reset from the Admirals, a chance to still score. A throw on the short hoop is one-handed,
Ooh.
but not caught. And it looks like a quick whistle advantage being called.
All right.
Blue card in the hand of the referee, the head ref here right now. Let's see if that's what stays.
He swatted
in his
it off
hand.
the
Yeah,
pitch.
he swatted it after he got beat.
And it was
Now he's
after
off
off the
and
pitch.
it's second
Off
contact.
Off the pitch is the problem.
So when we're talking about new rules in Major League Quidditch, Natero's going to go head to the penalty box here because of the swatting rule. It cannot be your second contact with the bludger. Your swat has to be the first thing that hits the bludger. It can't hit your chest and then you throw it somewhere else. It has to be your hand that knocks it away. If not, it's considered a yellow card, and I think they gave him a blue card because it was unintentional, but sometimes it can be upgraded to a yellow for a full 1 minute unless the other team scores.
Yeah.
Blue cards can stack infinitely. Yellow cards, you can only get 3 until you are ejected from a Major League Quidditch game.
All right, Sam Harris. Oh, goodness. Ryan Harris is bringing it up. We got Matty Wojcik from the Lost Boys beater protecting him. Other beater, Max Portillo, clearing out a path.
Throw behind the hoops and a
To
quick
Kendrick.
pass. Good finish on that one, and it was a quick play as well. Most important because the beaters were so close into the vicinity of the throw. One, it was deceptive on the part of Harris. He looked him off and then made that throw behind the short hoop. Good finish with the clean catch.
I'm just
And the
hoping-
score continues to
You're
balloon
okay,
in
yeah.
favor of the LA Guardians, and we're starting to see
Just
this
as long
earlier.
as it's pointed
A couple of
at
minutes
Quaffle,
ago,
it's
we
fine.
just called a matchup between the
There we go.
Austin Outlaws and
Go,
the
England.
Rochester Whiteout.
Anthony Hawkins from the Long Beach Funky Quaffles just dunks.
The
I'm the
first
LA Guardian.
round teams that had to play in the first round.
He just
We
got
see a
card.
great disparity in terms of their
Oh.
conditioning and their energy.
Was that reckless dislodgement
Reckless
of the hoop?
dislodgement of the hoops.
No.
You would know.
So I get that.
It's because it was uncontested. These are
Yeah.
And
That's the
on
one
an
you got.
And I get blue carded.
On an uncontested fast break, it looks like we've got a penalty going against the LA Guardians, like we mentioned before.
You get a yellow.
As of
Yellow
the
headed to the
test that I
hoops,
took
headed to
a week
the
ago,
headed to
it
the
was a red
bench.
card, 2 red
Sorry,
cards,
the
so
penalty
this one
box.
That's ridiculous.
On the offensive side though.
Goal's good
It
though.
doesn't
Most
specify,
importantly, 80-10,
It should. It's
It
too
should.
way out of snitch range.
but
One
yeah.
of the
That's weird 'cause
biggest
he was behind.
out of snitch range scores we've seen
It's
before. Snitch on
80-10
Beach in
over
this
there, right?
It might be me this
Danica, you have better eyes than me. It's 80-10 over there, right?
Bludger control
Yes.
with the LA Guardians.
But yeah, according to the last rule book, it is red. I would have thought it was a yellow.
And into the game for the first time here today. Pass in front of the hoops, quick throw off of the beat. Good recovery for the offensive possession, still giving it a chance even after your beat. You got to appreciate that. And that throw meant and intended
Nice.
for a weak side chaser is going to be deflected and scooped up by the LA Guardians number 8, Kyle Epstein. and he will bring it up. He's rotating to the left-hand side looking for a pass. You can see not off camera, but you can see behind the hoops over there, one of their chasers making the hand motion.
That's Ty
for
Rush.
trying to get the shot off, and a throw, and it hits off the bottom of the hoop, but luckily for the LA Guardians, and it seems like a lot of luck plus some skill that typically happens for teams that are pretty dominant. It seems lucky, but it's definitely planned out. A throw that hits off the base of the hoop goes right back and sets up the offense again. A throw on the far right-hand side, a sidearm sling, is no good, and once again, it scoops up and sets up a second offensive possession for the LA Guardians. Behind the hoops, they will go again. A long pass and a quick one.
Ooh.
And a good tackle on the side there, forcing the turtle. As soon as the beaters get over there, it will go to the Washington Admirals, and it looks like a fast break is brewing for the Admirals on the far right-hand side. Quick throw, beaters rotating up for the Guardians, and at the hoops, and a bobbling of the pass, and it will turn into possession for the LA Guardians.
All right.
Pretty slow for a fast break.
Can we get a game time update, please?
Ty Rush is down.
Oh no. What? 10:50.
As Ty Rush is down in front of his own bench there, he's going to get hydrated.
Set timer.
Ty Rush still sitting down there. He's going to get some water. The medics are going to come over and check him out here for a second. Hopefully, it's just dehydration in the sense that we can get him some water. It's not a more serious injury.
Yeah.
For the most part, you can tell a lot of teams who have made the trip here to League City, just in Texas in general, not accustomed to the level of heat that is present. And we even saw one of the Washington Admirals players in between games laying down in the grass, and the medics had to come check him out there for a second and ask him if he was all right. Eventually got up, made his way over to where his team was hanging out underneath the shade, which has been highly valuable is the current statement, I guess you could say. As we saw, and you can see it in the background, when we pan over to the right-hand side, the Salt Lake City Hive, some of their team members are underneath a tree trying to watch this game, electing to not sit in the bleachers, which are basically cooking in the sun. And Ty Rush is going to be helped up here. His teammates and a medic. Hopefully he can, once he's up off the ground, can put some pressure on his own leg. And he's using it just a little bit. Ty Rush being supported by the medics. They're trying to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, it seems like. But coming into this game, the LA Guardians, like we mentioned before, completing their first undefeated season, second West championship out of their division.
Though, when they swept San Francisco, all three of those games were snitch range, so it was closer than you would think. Just giving people context.
This is true.
No, the Guardians had a great season.
And we mentioned it before, the Guardians primarily composed of a good chunk of a USQ team called the Lost Boys, and if there was ever a city more split, it would be LA, as the Gambits, many speculating that Tony Rodriguez choosing not to play for the Guardians because of the high presence of Lost Boys players.
Tony Rodriguez told me that
his excuses getting old.
Yeah. That he would only play MLQ if championship was in Salt Lake City, and after League City was announced, Tony said he would not be playing.
Wow, that hurts. That hurts. Tony's got something. The last time Tony came down to the South, it was at Throw Me Something, a tournament that's held in New Orleans.
Yeah, and they won that
they
one.
actually won it, so it was totally worth all those.
But he's also won Crimson Cup in Utah, so maybe he wanted to stay closer to home.
Has he?
Tony, let us know.
Yeah, he got. Remember the Gambits got that trophy?
Oh, like 3 years ago.
It happened. They haven't been back in Utah since.
They should come back.
Go to Crimson Cup.
And as we have a delay and pause in this game, as Ty Rush has been moved over to the medical tent, the Methodist medical tent that's out here protecting all these players. And like we said before, hopefully it's just a case of some slight dehydration. I'm pretty sure they've got the pickle juice on hand. By the way, the worst way to ever possibly fix the problem of cramps, just easier to hydrate yourself. Coming into this matchup, the LA Guardians are the second
Perfect.
highest scoring team in all of Major League Quidditch. They average 15 goals per game, 152 points when they average it out. Just behind the Austin Outlaws, who score a whopping 164. And as a matter of fact, in their first game, we saw just a couple of minutes ago on pitch 1, they scored 200-plus points after the snitch catch. Throw behind the hoops, LA Guardians trying to work this one out. Both bludgers coming, and a good beat up front, opening a path for the Chasers, spinning away. A throw behind, no look, and it's caught by the LA Guardians. And because it's not possessed by a keeper, we're seeing possess, and it looks like the Admirals are about to get called for contact behind the back. Referees gonna huddle it up here. It's gonna be back contact because, well, he was on his back as he was trying to run away. So that's usually that's a pretty good sign on that one. The Admirals out here running a pretty tight rotation. To be honest with you, I think I've seen only about 4 or 5 subs for them. And headed to the box
That's how I learned.
for the Admirals is
I do
going
that
to
when I'm
be
doing research,
Ryan
that way when I'm
Pirtle.
right, I just put it through. When I'm wrong, I delete it.
Just redo it.
Ryan Pirtle headed to the box and smartly,
can't text
intelligently
fast enough.
going to sit underneath the tent instead of just in the box. He's got a minute in there, and the Guardians will regain possession of the quaffle, lose it right in front of the hoops. And that's just good, clean play there. Anthony Hawkins losing possession of the quaffle in front of the hoops. Admirals coming up the right-hand side here.
I've heard Anthony Hawkins called the less grumpy version of Sean Booker before.
I don't know who that is.
He's sitting right next to you. That was,
Oh, okay.
Sean Mertens, Sean Booker.
no, Sean Booker is on the sideline.
Sean Mertens is in the game, but Sean
Yeah.
Booker is right next to this live stream right now, and Sean leads his team, the San Francisco Argonauts, in scoring. It was a huge part of why they were able to defeat the Curse earlier today.
All right,
He's
Shea
taking a
Hellinger is
well-deserved
driving
rest.
it up, trying to find a hole. Shane drive, and Shea scores!
And one of the oldest and noblest rules in all of Quidditch, keep moving your feet. And that's pretty much what that drive was. Even though he didn't have any pass options, you keep moving, forcing the defenders until they make mistakes, and they did. They left an opening that was just good enough for him to get that goal and once again expand the lead of the LA Guardians as the Washington Admirals have gone a good 5+ minutes without scoring a goal.
Score is 90 to 10 currently.
As the clock continues to tick down to the snitch on pitch appearance. No midline called just yet. Pass over the midline behind the hoops, and it goes too wide of the intended receiver for the Washington Admirals. That was Anna Leonard who was intended. She cut towards the hoops as opposed to staying back for the pass, where she would have had an opportunity for a one-on-one situation. And now the LA Guardians have generated yet another turnover. Coming up for the pitch for the Guardians is Shea Hillinger. He's going to get a beat
Yeah,
up
it was
front
a
and an
similar
opening
Shea,
behind the hoops
oh,
with the
in
pass.
Phoenix.
It's going to be slightly
Ooh, who
errant.
picks it up back there? I can't tell. Oh, that looks like Joe Romo?
And the
Yeah, that's
Washington
Joe Romo.
Admirals.
He just looks like Michael.
Washington Admirals now with a chance to score some points here. It's Nino Danda out there at the keeper position.
So that's going to be fun.
Saw him play a little bit earlier versus the Detroit Innovators. And if you're a big X-Men fan, there's a label for the Juggernaut when he's locked up inside of a box. It says, do not allow object to gain momentum. That pretty much defines Nino.
yeah.
That's going to be a
That was, yeah.
That looked like it was going to be a late pass off of a
Yep.
beat, thus resulting in a turnover. But according to the referees, it was in time, and the result, no, they're going to say the goal was no good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those
They
definitely
said
Nice.
turnover.
It was
Beautiful
beat
catch.
before, no penalty
Peter
call.
Lee. So
More
pretty.
contact up front, being smart about the contact, reaching for the quaffle to try and
Shay's
dislodge
open.
it. And a pass behind the hoops,
Michael
wide open
Richardson.
receiver. Now she's not open. Looks like she got taken down from the
Yeah.
legs. She'll lose the quaffle, and it might roll towards the hard boundary, thus giving it to the Admirals. And the Guardians might be getting ready to get the
Play
quaffle back
stop.
right in front of the mid-hoop.
Yeah, that player back there was Vanessa Go. She also plays semi-pro football. So,
Also, Team USA.
yeah, she was Team USA with you.
With me. Yeah.
lot of Team USA players
LA,
out here today.
yeah. They have 3. 2 of them are here today.
Chris,
Have
Vanessa,
3 Team
Oh, wait,
USA.
no,
Turtles,
There's more.
Peter.
Wait, Peter was?
I thought Peter was. I could be wrong.
What year?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Team USA, of course.
Oh no, I didn't restart the timer. Rats. Okay,
Team USA
I'll ask for
claiming
time
back-to-back
next
World Championships, most recently losing to the Australian Drop Bears. And a dark memory in Team USA
All right.
Quidditch history.
There we go.
You guys all
Let's-
set here, right?
We are. Thank you. Can we get a time update, please? Huh?
15.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
15 minutes. That means that there are 4 minutes remaining until either one of these teams can call a timeout, and 5 minutes remaining until the snitch will make his appearance. Dundon up top, ready for this play to resume. Will he be beat? No, it's a fake out on the throw, and now a pass behind the hoops. Still no call. There it is. It is now 90-20 as the Washington Admirals break their scoring drought. Quaffle goes to the LA Guardians. Bringing it up is going to be Michael Richardson.
I know what it is.
He's at the keeper position up here. He's got a beater
That would be Ryan Smythe.
walking up with him.
He.
See if there's going to be an exchange. It looks like the Admirals are going to be content to have their only beater hang back towards the hoops and allow their chasers to do a lot of this defensive work as they rotate around the perimeter, try and get closer. As they get towards the back of the hoops. Seems to be a play scheme. 16 minutes to go. Sorry, 16 minutes have elapsed in this game. 40 minutes in total until this one is over. Now forcing them back towards the hard boundary. A sole beater running out there. A throw to the front of the hoops is going to be
Vanessa,
scooped
go.
up. Bludgeon control with the Guardians, so they'll take this opportunity to reset their offense and almost getting called for the midline there on the illegal reset, stepping back towards it, and a
Michael
block
Richardson trying.
on an attempted pass behind the hoops. Crossover middle. A bludger is waiting in case he does get past that
Joe
intent,
Robles
that
to
chaser.
Shea Hillinger to
Pass
Michael
up
Richardson.
front. You'd like to imagine that could have been an easy shot if he had caught it with 2 hands. That was not the case.
Vanessa.
Nice escape of the tackle and the goal scored. Vanessa, go on that one.
Is it? I don't hear a whistle.
Head ref
Oh,
is
no
calling
whistle
no
blown,
good.
so they're going to keep
All right,
rolling
Joe
with this one.
Robles wants that goal.
Blocked
Oh.
off the front of the mid-hoop. Great movement on the part of the Admirals. Beaters cleaning it up there as
That's a really
the
good
Admirals
ball.
number 7 out there, Anna Leonard, is going to turtle that one up without going down, so she'll just cover it up and then hand it to her keeper. Set up this Washington Admirals offense. Can they score on back-to-back offensive possessions? We'll find out here in a second. Bludger control remains with the Guardians.
Beautiful beat
Beat
by
on.
Jamie Luby. Oh, but Admirals go for the shot anyway.
Admirals go for the shot. Anna Leonard takes one, two-handed. Looks like it might have been deflected in, but the refs are going to call it no good. Back into the game. Number 44, Duran Allison. We saw him score 3 goals to start this one off. A bludger has been thrown back to occupy the Washington Admirals beaters, and it looks like it's going to work. It's a chaser-on-chaser situation, and it's a
strip
strip
the ball.
right
Oh.
before the goal would
That
have
was a
been
nice strip.
scored. The Admirals with some stout defense. We saw 3 deflections on that last run for the Guardians, and now a strip defensively to get themselves another offensive possession. Driving middle, a beat once again on that line between just a bit too late on the throw, but the Admirals are going to get a chance to back this one up. Their beater is beat. Now they're going to have to force a drive, and the Admirals trying to get one, a tackle thrown, and it's going to be missed. A throw back up top to reset the offense, and it might roll into the backcourt. It will. So that'll be the Admirals' only reset. There has not been an exchange of quaffle control. So now the Guardians can play uptight and play full force on that one as we see a jump and a shot on the hoops.
All right.
A great look, a great snap of the hand. Turn around, that's Pascal Darcy. No, that is Farnan. There you go, sorry. Farnan with a great read, not concerned with the 2 Guardians near him. just using those good Quidditch fundamentals. When you're near the hoops, you make that quick motion as the snitch has entered the field of play, but he is not in play just yet.
Yeah.
And now a beater battle, as we saw the Guardians not only sucker a beater from the Admirals to the back pitch, but also get him to run off the pitch to retrieve a bludger. So now if the Guardians get back on defense, they'll have possession.
It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to put your arm on their neck.
Duran going back on defense, and safe to say in this matchup, maybe because of the Admirals' exhaustion from playing those 3 games versus the Detroit Innovators, haven't seen a lot of fast breaks from them. 90-30 our current score here, and the snitch just less than a minute, 10 seconds from being into the field of play. Seekers are about to be released. They are officially released. Will the Guardians elect to protect their Seeker, or will they just try and go for traditional would see them rotating over to the Seekers and moving them out of the way, and that one looks like it was a beat. It was. Now the Guardians on a free run. There's a beater up front, and now the exchange is going to happen on the fake throw, and it looks like it could be a finish. Tuck the ball and release it in front
Justin
of
Bogart. Yes.
Release of the quaffle on the small hoop there for the score. That's 100-30. Snitch is over near the scorer's table. Seekers back in action after the Snitch took a slight reprieve for about 3 seconds. Out there seeking for the Washington Admirals, it's going to be their guy number 19, Dreves, out there trying to get his first name for you. And the LA Guardians with another score on the short
Who was
hoop.
that? Did you see? I was tweeting. Is it Duran again? Or was it Justin?
17.
Number 17 out there for the
Kendrick? No.
LA Guardians. It's going to be Kindred, Herschel,
We call him Kendrick.
Sorrell. I just wanted to take a stab at saying his last name.
I'm proud of you. I make a fool
I
of
like to
myself
live
if people's last name
dangerously.
change.
Quick throw, quaffle-wise, and the beaters force and press, trying to get rid of that one reset the Admirals have, and they are moving that quaffle pretty smoothly, knowing exactly where each other are, and possibly for a chance to score. Another deflection from
Duran's
Duran
bringing
Allison.
It's like the third in a row.
Aware of where the opposing chaser was, and now on a run here. Is it going to be, he's got one beater in front, contact going to be made by the Admirals, and Duran will have his quaffle stripped, and the possession will be taken by the Admirals. Good defensive stand for them. As the Seeker play continues here, Snitch play continues. The Admirals down 110-30, and it might be all over here, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I just caught that on camera.
Nice.
I got it.
Justin Fernandez with a potential snitch catch here. And if that is the case, it'll be a 140-30 on the final score. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 in the books. The LA Guardians 140-30. In that win, they'll take about an hour break, and when they come back, they'll duke it out, and that puts the Admirals in a do-or-die situation. 1 game away from elimination out of the MLQ championship as they face off against the fresh and seemingly undeterred LA Guardians in game number 1. We'll see if they can muck it up a little bit more. When we come back here to League City, Texas for the Major League Quidditch Championship, final score one more time, the LA Guardians 140, the Washington Admirals 30. The snitch catch goes to Justin Fernandez of the LA Guardians.